All right, y'all. So let's get this party started before my back starts hurting. Okay. All right. Our first storyteller, and we're not going to hold this against her from being from South Carolina, but because she moved here to do graduate school in Villanova. She currently works as a freelance performer and program director of Yes and Collaborative Arts in Germantown. She's a teaching artist for various theaters and a playwright. Y'all give it up for Sharese Salters. Here you go. Good job.
Laisse tomber les filles, un jour c'est toi qu'on laissera.
All right, thank you. Hello. Hello. So as Jamie said, I am Sharese. I am from South Carolina. I am a performer. I'm a playwright. I'm a theater educator at a really wonderful organization, Yes and, which empowers young people through art. I think it really lands with me because that's something that I would have wanted when I was a little bit younger. So we'll go back to being in high school. I never planned to be a theater person. I had plans to be a lawyer because I really like justice and I like logic and I like an argument. And so I took mock trial. I loved it. And I was like, perfect, I will be a lawyer. This is the plan. And a lawyer came in to talk to us, and we had an opportunity to ask him questions. And he told us that you did not have to major in pre-law to be a lawyer. You can major in anything. That's actually something that people are interested in, having more diverse applicants. So I said, great. Perfect. I'm going to major in theater. Thank you. So I went to the University of South Carolina, Aiken, which I might call USCA now. But I went and I did theater and I loved it. And so my freshman year, I'm there and I'm very green, which allowed me to give myself grace for when I wasn't cast. I was like, it's okay. Like, you haven't been doing this for 8 years straight. It's all right. Like, it's okay. You don't have to get cast. Just keep trying and they'll see your talents. And by the time we made it to sophomore year and I still wasn't getting cast, I was like, what's up? What's going on? Because again, I was green, but I was bringing something into the room. And so this is sophomore year is really the year where I feel like you start to think, is this feasible? Can I do this as a career? Because freshman year, you go in and you're like, whoa, let's party. Sophomore year, you're like, okay, do I need to transfer? I don't know. So here we are at USC Aiken, and we are going to do 12th Night, which is really exciting. It's Shakespeare. I'd never done Shakespeare before, but I was ready to take on the challenge. We did cold reads pretty much for all of our auditions. If you don't know what a cold read is, it's basically everybody is in the room and auditions in front of each other. As an artist, it might not be your favorite thing because it's a little nerve-wracking. Auditioning in front of your peers, but it's a good skill to have. And so we're auditioning. I'm like, do I really understand what I'm saying? Not quite. Not really, but I'm making some character choices. And I felt really good about that. I felt really good about that. I said I made a choice. I think I had some fun. Oh yeah, they gotta cast me. And at the end, I made a fatal mistake. I told the director, if you need help stage managing, let me know. But I didn't mean don't cast me. That's not what I meant. I was just trying to help out, take one for the team, but not really. Put me in. And so I said that, I left. The cast list is up the next day or 2 days, whenever. I have to pick out what time will I go down to look at it, because you don't want to see someone while you're experiencing the cast list, especially if they're on it and you're not, or vice versa. Like, you don't want to have a conversation about it. So I'm thinking, like, what is the time I can go when no one will be there? So I'm like, okay, it's like midday. All right, I'm going to go. It's the Ether Center, which is like the hub for the art majors. I walk in the lobby. I make my right. I keep walking. I pass the black box theater. I pass the main stage. I'm backstage. There's the bulletin board, and there's the cast list. And I go up to the cast list because, again, I felt good. Go up to the cast list. I'm not on it. Well, I am on it as a stage manager. But I was devastated. I had plans. I had expectations. And when I saw that I wasn't in there, I was really, really distraught. So much like you do when you receive bad news, you want to do that in private. So I, grabbed my stuff and I hauled out of there. And I was like, it's time to go back to my dorm to cry by myself, alone, where no one can see it. So I go back to my dorm, Pacer Downs. My roommate is there and she's like, how'd it go? Are you on it? And I was like, no, not really. And I go to the bathroom where I sob on the toilet. And so she's like, she knocks on the door and she's like, hey, you doing okay? I'm like, I'm doing fine. Because again, this really hurt me. This really wounded me. And my first thought was like, I don't want to do this anymore. This doesn't feel good. I'm trying, I'm giving it my best. And you just told me my best wasn't good enough. Because that's, especially when you're a younger actor, that's what it feels like. My best wasn't good enough. And again, I want to be a lawyer, so it didn't make sense. It wasn't logical. So I was like, I think I'm ready to quit. And then my second sobs were about the fact that I couldn't quit because I really love this. And so even though I feel like crap and like I'm not being recognized in the way that I want to, I have to stay here because this is the thing that matters the most to me. This is the way that I feel like I can change the world around me. So I have to stay, which also made me cry because what are you saying? Like, I'm gonna be rejected again and I'm just gonna keep auditioning? That's wild. But I did, and I stage managed that show and I had a terrible time. Oh my gosh, it was awful. But I still somehow loved it and I still love the show and I kept auditioning. And I'm here today, still in the theater, still in the industry, doing what I can. But it was definitely on the toilet of the University of South Carolina, Aiken, Pacer Downs, that I had the revelation that theater was what I was meant to do. And I have no regrets.
That was really terrific. So what happened with law school?
Oh, yes, law school. I moved here to get another theater degree. My plan is that when I retire, that maybe that's when I go to law school. When I'm like, all right, I've done all I can. Let's go do some trials.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank
Sharese.
you.
Wonderful.